I never thought I'd be the guy writing this kind of thing, but here I am. My name's Jake, and I've been married to Emily for just over a year now. We met in college, had the typical romantic story, lots of late-night talks, shared dreams, promises about building a life together. Honestly, I thought we had something solid. She was gorgeous, smart, ambitious, the kind of girl you'd want to build a future with, and I felt lucky to be the one she chose. We were set to get married during the first week of our honeymoon. I mean, everything was perfect, at least on the surface. We booked a fancy resort, everything paid for, family flew in from all over. I was walking on air, honestly. But looking back now, there were little hints I ignored, things she brushed off or dismissed as stress about the wedding. She'd sometimes be short with me, snap at little things, but I chalked it up to pre-wedding jitters. She was a little bitchy, sure, but I thought that was just her personality. She always had a sharp tongue, never shy about throwing a snide remark my way if I did or said something she didn't like. Still, I believed in us. The trouble started creeping in a few days before the wedding. She was more tense than usual, secretive even. She'd go into the bathroom and stay there for a long time, then come out looking a little flushed. When I'd ask what was wrong, she'd just shrug, say she was tired or stressed. I tried to be supportive, but I couldn't shake the feeling that something was off. I noticed her phone was constantly in her hand, even during moments I'd think we should be focusing on each other, like the last few days before our wedding. She'd be texting or scrolling through stuff I couldn't see. And then, there was the weirdest thing. She started canceling plans with her friends under some excuse, then seemed to disappear for hours. Once, she even told me she was working late when I saw her sneaking out of the hotel room at 2 a.m., but I brushed it off. I told myself maybe she was just anxious or overworked. I wanted to trust her. After all, we had a future planned, and I wasn't going to let some petty suspicion ruin that. Still, something felt wrong. I kept noticing little things, like her being more distant during sex or her avoiding eye contact when I tried to talk about the wedding plans. She'd get defensive if I pushed, brush me off with a sharp comment or a fake laugh. I told myself maybe I was overreacting, but deep down, I knew something was going on. I just didn't know what exactly. I never expected it would be this bad or that I'd find out during what was supposed to be the happiest week of my life. So here, where things got real. It was late one night, the night before the wedding, actually. I was trying to get some sleep, but I kept feeling this gnawing little voice in my head, like I was missing something. I decided to check her phone just to see if there was anything I'd missed. I know, trust is supposed to be there, but I couldn't shake the feeling that I was about to be blindsided. I never snooped before, but at that moment, I felt like I had to know. I quietly took her phone off the nightstand, trying not to wake her. I unlocked it, and that's when I saw the message thread. It was her boss, a guy named Mark. The texts were flirty, full of innuendos and a lot of "can't wait to see you tonight" kind of stuff. My stomach dropped. I was frozen, staring at the screen. How could she? This was her boss. During our wedding week, my mind raced. I felt this intense mix of betrayal and anger. I wanted to wake her up and ask, but I knew I had to see more. I kept scrolling through her messages, and what I saw next confirmed everything. They'd been secretly planning to meet up, not just texting, but arranging a secret rendezvous at some hotel around the corner. I saw the name of the hotel in her messages, an upscale place a few blocks away. That's when I saw the last message from her. "Can't wait to finally see you tonight. I've been dreaming about this." It hit me like a punch in the gut. I was so stunned I could barely breathe. My wife, my bride, was cheating on me with her boss during our wedding week. I'd always suspected she had a sharp tongue, maybe a little bitchy attitude, but I never thought she'd do something like this. Not with her boss, not during what's supposed to be the happiest time of our lives. I felt betrayed, humiliated, and honestly kind of numb. I sat there in the dark, clutching her phone, trying to process what I'd just seen. I thought about confronting her right then and there, but I knew better. I needed to calm down first. Still, the image of that hotel key, delivered to her as if she was some secret mistress, kept looping in my head. How long had this been going on? Were we even married for real? Or was I just some fool who got played during the most fragile moment of my life? I didn't sleep the rest of that night. My mind kept circling around her lies, her sneaky texts, the hotel room, and her fake smile when I'd speak to her in the morning. I felt like I'd been hit by a freight train. Everything I believed about her, about us, suddenly felt so fragile, like a house of cards ready to fall apart. I knew I had to face her, but I also knew nothing would be the same after this. The next morning, I woke up feeling like I'd been hit by a truck. My mind was racing. I couldn't focus on anything except that damn hotel key I saw being delivered to her yesterday. I kept going over it in my head, what it meant, why she hadn't told me, how long this had been going on. I felt sick, betrayed beyond words. But I also knew I had to confront her, get some answers, even if I dreaded what I might hear. She was still sleeping when I got up. I watched her for a moment, feeling a strange mix of anger and sadness. She was so beautiful, yet so utterly dishonest. I had thought I knew her, but now I saw her for what she was, a liar, a cheat, someone capable of doing the worst thing possible during our wedding week. I hesitated before waking her, trying to decide what to say, how to approach this without losing my mind. Finally, I shook her shoulder gently. "Emily," I said softly, but my voice shook. "We need to talk." She stirred, opening her eyes and giving me that fake, innocent look. She mumbled, "What's wrong?" I looked her straight in the eyes, my voice cold but controlled. "I saw your messages. I saw the hotel room key. Tell me what the hell is going on." Her face went pale for a second, then she leaned back, trying to compose herself. Her lips curled into that dismissive, bitchy smile she always had. "Oh, come on, Jake. You're overreacting. It's just a silly mistake." "A mistake? You're fucking your boss, Emily." I cut her off. My voice was rising now. "During our wedding week, did you think I wouldn't find out? Did you really think I was that blind?" She sat up, shrugging her shoulders, her eyes flashing with defiance. "First of all, you don't know the full story. And second, maybe I was just upset about everything. The stress, the wedding, you not paying enough attention to me, whatever. It doesn't mean I was cheating, it's just sex, Jake. People do stupid shit when they're stressed." I couldn't believe what I was hearing. That was her excuse. "Sex? You think that's what this is? You're sleeping with your boss and you're telling me it. Just sex. You lied to me, manipulated me, and you think I don't see through that bullshit. You're just a selfish bitch, Emily. You weren't just upset, you were cheating on me and you're trying to brush it off as if it's nothing." Her smile faded a little, but she still had that look in her eyes, defiant, dismissive. "Look, Jake, I didn't mean for it to get this far. It just happened. It was a moment of weakness, okay? I didn't plan for it, and I swear I didn't want to hurt you. You know I love you, but this doesn't mean I don't love my career too. Mark been good to me and we clicked. It's not your fault." I felt my blood boiling. How could she lie so easily, so convincingly? I wanted to punch something, to scream at her, but I knew that wouldn't help. Instead, I just stared at her, feeling completely empty inside. I'd trusted her, built my life around her, and now I was standing here listening to her spin her bullshit. This wasn't just an affair. It was an attack, a betrayal that shattered everything I thought was real. The rest of that day was a blur. I couldn't even look at her without feeling this deep ache in my chest. I kept thinking about the moments we shared, the plans we made, the future I thought we had. All of it felt like a lie now. Every kiss, every promise, nothing mattered anymore. She had been lying to me from the start. How could I have been so blind? That night I just sat alone in the hotel room. I didn't sleep. I kept replaying everything, trying to understand how she could do this during the biggest week of our lives. I felt like a fool. I was betrayed not just by her, but by everyone I trusted. I kept asking myself, was I even enough? Did I mean anything to her? Or was I just a fool she used for a while until she found something more exciting? The following morning, I woke up with the weight of everything pressing down on me. I knew I couldn't go on pretending nothing had happened. The betrayal was like a stone in my stomach, and I felt like I was walking around in a fog. I had to decide what to do, whether to confront her again, to pack my bags and leave, or to try to salvage whatever was left of this shattered marriage. Honestly, I was too numb to think straight at first. She was already up when I got out of bed. She looked nervous, avoiding my gaze. The air between us was thick with unspoken words. I looked at her and all I could see was her smirk from the day before, the way she dismissed everything like she thought she could lie her way out of it. I didn't want to yell, didn't want to cry, but I couldn't hold it back. I told her, "You lied to me." You cheated on me during our wedding week and you're acting like it's no big deal." Her lips pressed into a thin line. "Jake, I told you it was just sex. I didn't mean for it to happen, and I swear I didn't want to hurt you. You have to understand I was stressed and it just happened. It's not like I planned to cheat on you." That was the moment I realized she was justifying herself, trying to manipulate me into feeling sorry for her. I looked her straight in the eyes and said, "You think saying it just happened makes it okay? You're sleeping with your boss, Emily. That's not just a fling, it's betrayal. How could you do this? How could you lie to me for so long?" She scoffed, crossing her arms. "You're overreacting. Maybe I made a mistake, but I love you. I want to stay with you. We can fix this if you're willing to forgive me." I felt my anger rising again. "Forgive you? After all the lies, after the hotel key, after seeing the texts? You think I can just forgive that? I trusted you, Emily. I thought you were different. I thought we had something real. And now I find out you've been playing me this entire time." She looked frustrated now. "Look, Jake, I didn't mean to hurt you. I was just overwhelmed, and Mark was there for me more than you ever were. You're always so busy with your stupid job, never paying attention to me. This was a mistake, I admit it, but I don't want to lose you. I love you. I want us to work through this." I couldn't believe what I was hearing. Her words sounded rehearsed, like she'd been telling herself that lie. For days, I felt so many emotions, anger, betrayal, sadness, all at once. My heart was pounding so hard I thought it would burst. I looked at her and knew deep down I couldn't keep pretending everything was okay. I had given her my trust, my heart, my future, and she tore it all apart with her lies and her secrets. In that moment, I realized I had a choice to make. I could stay and try to forgive, or I could walk away and never look back. But I knew this. I would never trust her again. Whatever happened next, I couldn't go back to pretending she was the woman I thought I knew. The betrayal cut too deep, and I could see now that her love had been a lie, one she told herself to justify her actions. I was lost, hurt, and more than anything, I was done being naive. After a long, quiet moment, I told her I needed space. I couldn't even look at her without feeling that betrayal burning inside me. I packed a bag, told her I was leaving, and didn't care if she begged me to stay. I just needed to get out of that room, away from her, and clear my head. The drive home was one of the worst experiences of my life. Every stoplight, every mile, I kept replaying everything. Her lies, her excuses, the pictures of that hotel room key, the texts. It all felt like a bad dream I couldn't wake up from. The days that followed were filled with chaos. I didn't want to see her, didn't want to talk to her. I felt hollow inside, like my heart was broken into a million pieces. I kept questioning myself. How did I miss all the signs? Was I so blind that I didn't see her real nature? Did I love her too much? Or was I just a fool who thought she was perfect? Every time I thought I was getting over it, a new memory or a new piece of evidence would hit me and drag me right back into that dark place. Honestly, the hardest part was the aftermath. The house felt empty without her, even though I hated her at the time. I kept thinking about all the things she said to manipulate me. How she claimed she loved me while she was sneaking around behind my back. And the worst part, that I'd let her get away with it for so long, convincing myself that maybe I was just imagining things, that she'd never really do something so cruel. I started talking to close friends, trying to make sense of it all. Some of them told me to dump her immediately, to cut her out of my life. Others said I should try to forgive, to see if she was truly sorry and if we could rebuild what we lost. But honestly, I didn't know what I wanted. Part of me wanted to confront her again, to scream at her for destroying what we had. The other part just wanted to forget her altogether and move on. What really crushed me was realizing that I had loved her so much that I'd believed her lies, even when my gut told me otherwise. I was so blinded by the idea of us, the perfect life, the future I'd imagined, that I ignored all the warning signs. And now I was left with nothing but the wreckage. I looked at her empty side of the bed, her clothes still hanging in the closet, and I wondered how I had allowed myself to be so naive. All the good memories now felt so distant, so tainted, like they belonged to someone else, not me. I felt angry at her for the pain she caused, but mostly I felt stupid for trusting her so blindly. All I wanted was to find some way to fix this, but deep down, I knew some damage can't be repaired, especially when it's this deep. In the end, I made my decision. I realized that I couldn't keep living in this constant state of betrayal and confusion. I couldn't keep pretending that everything was fine when inside I was shattered. So I took steps to start over, filed for a divorce, cut her out of my life, and slowly began to rebuild myself. It's been a brutal process, one filled with anger, sadness, and moments of regret, but also clarity. I learned that sometimes love isn't enough to hold everything together, especially when trust is broken beyond repair. Looking back, I can see how naive I was, how much I wanted things to work so badly that I ignored all the warning signs. Now, I know that no relationship is worth sacrificing your peace of mind and self-respect. Trust is the foundation of any good relationship, and once that's gone, everything else crumbles. Her lies, her manipulation, they taught me a hard lesson about self-value and boundaries. If there's anything I want to say to anyone reading this who might be going through something similar, don't ignore your instincts. If you feel something's wrong, don't convince yourself it's not. Confront it, face it, and don't let yourself be the fool who stays because they're afraid to face the truth. It hurts like hell, but it's better to be alone than to be with someone who only brings pain and betrayal. I've come to accept that some things are beyond fixing. And while it's painful to walk away from what I thought was my future, I also feel a strange sense of relief. I'm finally free from her lies, her games, her betrayal. It's not easy, and it never will be, but I am learning to live again, to trust myself, and to find happiness on my own terms. The only thing I know for sure now is that I won't let anyone treat me like that again. I deserve honesty, loyalty, and respect. No one should have to go through what I did, and I hope anyone reading this who's in a similar situation finds the strength to walk away or fight for their peace. Because in the end, you are the only one who truly matters. Your happiness, your sanity, that's what counts. And I've learned that sometimes the greatest act of love is knowing when to let go.